Well, here we are, the spiritual home of New Zealand racing, and wow, Ellerslie doesn't look like you're used to seeing it. We're going to have a buzz around Ellerslie today as the StrathAyr track starts to sort of take shape. Wow, it's pretty remarkable being here, seeing it like this. And here we have Ellerslie Uber are going to take us around the track with the highest paid Uber driver in New Zealand racing, Paul Wilcox. Wilco, let's go see what you've done to our favourite racetrack.
Hey, jump on in, Michael. No, it's not the Aston, but it'll do what we need to do.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
It will be interesting. Peat moss. So that's only organic material that'll be going into the sand to grow our grass.
Where do you get all this stuff from?
That's come from the South Island.
Yeah.
All our sand's coming from Whangarei, and all the plastic, which is the mesh, that's all the stuff that binds the roots to the system. And there's the little machine that mixes it all up, the little green thing. So he's putting obviously the peat moss and the sand in there, and then the mesh goes in there, and happy days. This is a lot of our rock that you saw at the start that's coming back as aggregate. So again, it's cheaper to get it crushed, bring it back than buy it. So this is for all our internal roads, our ambulance tracks and what have you.
We're looking from the 1200 chute down toward the hill,
Yes.
which is an emotional subject for some people. Obviously, we're never going to race there again. What's that going to look like? When people are at Ellerslie over the next 5 years during the development period, what's going to be on the hill? Is it going to be just a whole lot of houses? And what's going to happen to that space?
It's been very well master planned by Fletchers. So Fletchers are the successful company that's doing the development. We're not development experts, so we're staying right away from that. So as we go through from sort of later this year, early next year, they'll start the groundworks, and then it'll start morphing into houses. But one of the critical considerations is retaining a lot of those pahurakawa that are up in the background, that interface between that and Ladies Mile. But what it will do, it'll open up the racecourse. So up there now we have a terrible shitty green corrugated fence that gets graffiti. That's all going to get taken down in the view through here and then out to Mount Hobson and so forth. It's going to be dramatic. So all those people driving along will actually get a very open view of who we are, which is a racing club.
There's been a bit of chat about the car parks changing. Can you explain that to us, Paul? But I believe some of the car parking will now be inside the racetrack?
Look, where our trainers and our jockeys currently go, that will remain for them, so access to the stabling and close proximity to where they ply their trade. The members' car park at this stage will be for the members, and then general public will be in the infield, and it's going to be a nice way of coming to Ellerslie, and instead of coming in the back entrance, you'll be looking out at the stands and seeing what's about to unfold on the race day.
As we're standing here looking out across the track, it looks incredibly wide. Is the track going to be the same width?
100%. So longitudinally, nothing changes. So we've got all the elevations. We retained that was a prerequisite when we undertook this project. But 30 metres inside to outside rail hasn't changed. So the only change will be is that there'll be a nice fence, as we saw right back at the start, on the outside, and then the plastic rail on the inside, with a new purpose-built ambulance track as well, which is a critical component of protecting our jockeys if they come off one of the horses.
If we get a wet winter, which could be on the cards after the summer we had, is there any chance that can delay things, or is the weather not as big a factor at this stage as it would be earlier on?
Once we've got the pond complete and the track seeded, the rain is welcomed.
All right, Paul, this is the perfect place to see the transition for the stages of the redevelopment. So here's obviously the sand-based top, and here's what's underneath it. So a rare chance for people to see what is going to be underneath the Ellerslie track. What's all this about? Is this small stone to enable good drainage, I assume?
Pretty much that, Michael. So below this we have the dirt, and then we've got this, and And it's critical that we get, believe it or not, everything gets sieved so that we get the right rock, the right sand size and everything, so it doesn't stop the water penetrating and going through to our drains. So our drains sit in below here, or the laterals are across here, and then our drainage system's here on our right hand side that takes it, which we're about to go to the new pond.
This goes on top?
And then the StrathAyr profile. So basically it's just another layer of sand that then has the peat moss that we saw, and then the fibre mesh that goes in, that gets laid over the top, then it'll be skimmed, seeded, and away we go.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but how many tonnes of stuff, when you include this stuff, the sand, the StrathAyr, how much material is going on this track?
A huge amount, right? But just to give you an example, so we're putting in 11 kilometres of drainage. So that's just to take and that's not our big main arterial drains, this is just the lateral. So 11 kilometres of drainage. It'll be over 100,000 tonne of sand and a similar amount of gravel that's going in.
See how heavy these are? This is a small rock. Don't try that at home. So I take it this is where all the water, which drains out through the track, gets captured. I didn't quite expect it to be that big.
Yeah, and neither did I when we were designing this, but dimension-wise, so we're 100 metres in length by 50 metres by, in its full height, it's 11 metres, so it's going to hold a fair bit of water. We've been smart, so a lot of the stormwater goes through rain gardens and so forth. That will come in that area down there from the new development. You can see the concrete batter where that will bring the water in, and then down the far end is the inlet valve, and just down here is where it all goes into Jason's shed to be able to be put back on the track.
Okay, so that water is basically stored and used when needed to be used later on.
100%, and also people far smarter than I, we can actually store about 1 million litres of water underneath, or not under the track, but in the drains that we've seen. So they're large, half-metre diameter drains, and we can store that water, in particular in summertime when this pond's full, we can store it inside the drain, so that gives us more water to use at a later date as well.
Just a couple of things that people at home will be wondering. First of all, how realistic is Karaka Million? Are we likely to be here for the Karaka Million, or even before that?
No reason to see why we won't be. We've obviously got a process that we'll go through, jump outs, trials, etc. We'll hold that small meeting in early January just to get that race day out of the way, and then Karaka Million. And the great thing about a Karaka Million, hey, it's exciting, it's a great opportunity to showcase a new track to the world, but it's only 6 races as well.
We're in the front parade ring here, cuvee, obviously public stand there. For the people coming to the races, is the experience going to change in any way? Is any of this side of the racetrack changing?
100%. So Ascot stands in the process of getting a new paint job. We've got our new brand. Obviously we merged with Pukekohe, so there's a new brand about to be released. The dice has been changed in position, which gives the horses coming back from a race more room, protecting our people better. So there will be a lot of changes physically. To the eye, you can see the new outside rail that'll be going in. So yeah, when people turn up, they'll notice a difference, and it won't just be the grass. Early meeting in January, then we'll do Karaka Million, and likely then to go for Derby Day and Auckland Cup. Then we'll put her to bed and make sure she's really ready for that 24-25 season.
So like a summer relaunch for 2024, but then we start racing at Ellerslie more regularly.
24-25.
24. Okay, so back to stakes. What can we expect? Best case scenario, in 18 months, if your investments are going the way you want them to go and your income is coming in how you would like it to come in, a Saturday rating 65, a Saturday rating 75 here at Ellerslie, what's the target to get those stakes to?
Look, our goal is, and we've communicated that goal, is to have an average of 100,000 per race when we've got a full racing season here and obviously at Pukekohe, our sister course that we've merged with. So we've got stage payments coming through from the land that we've sold. Our goal is in that 25-26 season to have hopefully the ability to fund our races to where we add another 13 million on top of what we get from New Zealand Thoroughbred racing.
That's a big number, but what does it mean per meeting? So is that an extra 500,000 a meeting type thing?
Look, give or take, it'll be around circa that $1 million per meeting.
Okay, so, and I don't want to harp on about it, but it means so much to people having this light at the end of the tunnel. Is it realistic, 18 months from now, we're coming to Ellerslie on a Saturday, we're rocking up here, and the average Saturday race, some of the stakes races worth more, some worth a little bit less, is 100,000 per race?
Yeah, 100%. Look, it won't happen immediately right at the start, but our goal is within that 25-26 season is that we've got our investment fund where we've got it at a sustainable level that we can start really dramatically increasing the stakes. You'll see prior to that, this year we've committed to having $2 million. So that will start growing, and as that grows, all those races will move in size.
What about the big bang races? Obviously Karaka Million's awesome, Derby's awesome, $1 million races. Do we have anything else in the pipe? Are we going to see an Auckland Cup go back up? Are we going to put more money into Weight for Age? Is there any interest in a slot race?
We're doing a lot of work at the minute as to what that specifically means on a race-by-race basis, but you can be assured that our Group 1s will move up dramatically, Group 2s. To give an understanding, our Group 2s are going to be raced what currently Group 1s are raced for in New Zealand at present, and then all the other ones flow up, so the listeds will move up, the Group 3s will move up to what the old Group 2s are currently funded, and then our Group 1s will get up around that $500,000 to $600,000.
Are you excited by this? I mean, you're at the head of the biggest racing club in the country, and obviously it's now got a whole different base in Pukekohe as well. But are you excited to be back here at the home of New Zealand racing for a Karaka Million, which is going to come around pretty quickly?
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool experience when we first get horses around. Look, it's a big undertaking, and the project is large in size. So once we get the horses back, it's signed off and we can race on the surface. And it's not about us here at the club, it's about giving our stakeholders what's going to be a great surface in Australasia, and a pretty one at that.
On the money front, is it sustainable? Often we've seen money boosts in New Zealand, like the Winston Peters 15 years ago. Then it goes, but I take you and Doug and the team here and at Pukekohe are putting together is sustainable. So once we get to these new stakes levels, whether that's in 2 or 3 seasons, they are going to stay around?
Absolutely, and back to my comments before, we're not going to make a dramatic increase, bang, and then have an issue of, oh, we've got to drop back. So it'll be a gradual growth. Whilst we're doing that, we'll also have the ability to make sure we're protecting those investments, but having that funding. So if the markets, like they have over the last couple of years, do take a dip, we've got that funding to allow us to continue at the sustained level that we set out to achieve.